In the quiet moments of life, when the clamor of the world fades away, we often confront our greatest foes, not external adversaries, but the battles within ourselves. These internal struggles can feel like an endless war, yet the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a path to mastering the art of non-combat. By cultivating self-control and fortitude, we can overcome destructive emotions and find true peace. Number 1. The lure of external validation. One of our fiercest adversaries is the insidious lure of external validation. This is the deep need for approval from others. Many of us find ourselves yearning for this approval, letting our self-worth be dictated by others' opinions. This craving for validation can trap us in a cycle of dependency, where our happiness hinges on external factors. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, addresses this in his book Meditations. He writes, "It never ceases to amaze me we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This means that even though we naturally care about ourselves, we often end up valuing what others think more than our own opinions. When we constantly seek validation from others, we give away our inner power. We let others control our emotions and self-esteem. To reclaim our inner power, we must learn to value our own judgment. This means trusting ourselves and our decisions even when others disagree or disapprove. By doing this, we become more resilient to the whims and opinions of others. We learn to stand firm in our beliefs and actions regardless of external validation. Letting go of the need for external approval doesn't mean we ignore feedback or stop caring about others entirely. It means we place more importance on our own values and beliefs. We become the main judge of our actions and thoughts, leading to a more stable and confident sense of self. By focusing on our own inner values, we build a strong foundation that isn't easily shaken by external circumstances. This inner strength is a core teaching of Stoicism. Stoicism encourages us to seek happiness and contentment within ourselves rather than from outside sources. When we rely on ourselves for validation, we become more self-reliant and less vulnerable to the opinions and judgments of others. We find a deeper, more lasting sense of peace and fulfillment. To practice this, start by reflecting on your values and beliefs. Ask yourself what is truly important to you and why. Write these down and remind yourself of them regularly. When faced with a situation where you would normally seek external validation, pause and reflect on your own judgment. Trust yourself and your values, even if it means going against the grain. Another useful practice is to limit your exposure to external opinions, especially on social media. Social media can amplify the need for validation, as we often compare ourselves to others and seek likes and comments for approval. By reducing your time on these platforms, you can focus more on your own thoughts and feelings. Additionally, surround yourself with people who support and respect your values. These individuals will provide constructive feedback without making you feel dependent on their approval. They will help you grow while respecting your independence. Number 2, the pitfall of catastrophizing. Another formidable enemy is catastrophizing, the tendency to imagine the worst possible outcome in any situation. This habit fuels anxiety and paralyzes us with fear. We become trapped in a web of imagined disasters, unable to see the reality of our circumstances. This constant fear can drain our energy and prevent us from living fully. Seneca, another Stoic sage, advises, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that the fears and worries we create in our minds are often worse than what actually happens. By constantly imagining the worst, we cause ourselves unnecessary suffering. Stoicism offers a powerful technique to combat this tendency: negative visualization. This practice involves consciously imagining the worst-case scenarios in a controlled way. Instead of avoiding our fears, we confront them head-on, preparing ourselves mentally and emotionally for the worst. This doesn't mean we expect bad things to happen, but we acknowledge that they could, and we plan how we would handle them. By practicing negative visualization, we strengthen our resilience. We learn to stay calm and composed even in the face of adversity. This mental rehearsal helps us to be better prepared for real-life challenges, reducing our anxiety and fear. When we have already thought through the worst-case scenarios, we are less likely to be caught off guard and more likely to respond with clarity and courage. And to practice negative visualization, set aside some quiet time each day. Think about a situation that worries you. Then, imagine the worst possible outcome. Visualize how you would handle it, what steps you would take, and how you would cope emotionally. By doing this regularly, you train your mind to deal with fear more effectively. Another aspect of combating catastrophizing is focusing on the present moment. Often our fears are based on what might happen in the future, not on what is happening right now. By grounding ourselves in the present, we can reduce the power of our anxieties. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and deep breathing, can help us stay anchored in the present. It's also important to challenge our catastrophic thoughts. When you catch yourself imagining the worst, ask yourself how realistic your fears are. Consider the likelihood of the worst-case scenario actually happening. Often you will find that your fears are exaggerated. Remind yourself of past situations where things didn't turn out as badly as you imagined. Building a support network can also help. Share your worries with trusted friends or family members. They can offer perspective and help you see things more clearly. Sometimes just talking about your fears can reduce their intensity. Number 3, the illusion of control. We often fall into the trap of believing we can control the external world, striving to bend reality to our will. This illusion of control leads to frustration and disappointment when things don't go as planned. We feel upset and stressed when we realize that many aspects of life are beyond our control. Epictetus, a well-known Stoic philosopher, teaches us about the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. This means that some things are within our control, while others are not. Recognizing this truth can free us from unnecessary suffering. By focusing our energy on what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we can lead a more peaceful and fulfilled life. Understanding what we can and cannot control is key to this philosophy. We cannot control other people's actions, the weather, or many events in life. However, we can control how we react to these things. Our own thoughts and behaviors are within our power. By focusing on these, we can make positive changes in our lives and reduce stress. To practice this, start by identifying what is truly within your control. Make a list of things that worry you and sort them into 2 categories: those you can control and those you cannot. For the things you cannot control, try to let go of your need to manage them. Accept that they are beyond your reach. This acceptance doesn't mean you don't care, it means you are choosing to focus on what you can change. Next, take proactive steps on things within your control. This includes your attitude, decisions, and efforts. For example, you cannot control the outcome of a job interview, but you can prepare thoroughly and present yourself well. You cannot control if it rains on your picnic, but you can bring an umbrella and enjoy the day regardless. Another important aspect of embracing the dichotomy of control is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us stay present and focused on the here and now. It reminds us to pay attention to our thoughts and actions rather than worrying about things outside our control. Techniques like meditation and deep breathing can help cultivate this mindset. Building a support network is also beneficial. Share your struggles and thoughts with trusted friends or family members. They can offer support and help you stay focused on what you can control. Sometimes just talking about your worries can provide clarity and relief. Remember, letting go of the illusion of control doesn't mean giving up. It means directing your efforts where they can truly make a difference. This shift in focus can lead to greater resilience and inner peace. When we stop trying to control everything around us, we find more joy in the present moment and more power in our own actions. Number 4, the trap of emotional reactivity. In the whirlwind of daily interactions, we often let our emotions dictate our actions, leading to rash decisions and regretful outcomes. This is known as the trap of emotional reactivity. When we react without thinking, we let our feelings take control, which can cause more harm than good. Seneca, a wise Stoic philosopher, noted, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." This means that our uncontrolled anger can do more damage than whatever made us angry in the first place. Acting out of intense emotions can lead to mistakes and hurtful behavior, affecting both ourselves and others. Stoicism teaches us to practice mindfulness and self-reflection to avoid falling into this trap. Mindfulness means being aware of our thoughts and feelings without immediately reacting to them. It involves taking a step back and observing our emotions as they arise. This pause allows us to think before we act, helping us respond in a more reasoned and thoughtful way. One way to practice mindfulness is through meditation. Taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath can help you become more aware of your emotions. When you notice feelings of anger, frustration, or anxiety, acknowledge them without judgment. This simple practice can help you develop greater control over your reactions. Self-reflection is another important tool. At the end of each day, take some time to think about your interactions and how you responded to different situations. Ask yourself if you reacted out of emotion or if you took a moment to think things through. Reflecting on your actions can help you recognize patterns and areas where you can improve. When faced with a stressful situation, try to pause and assess your emotions before reacting. Take a deep breath and ask yourself what the best course of action is. Consider the consequences of reacting out of anger or fear. This moment of reflection can make a big difference in how you handle the situation. Another helpful practice is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can provide clarity and help you process your emotions. It allows you to express your feelings in a safe and constructive way. Over time, journaling can help you understand your emotional triggers and develop better coping strategies. Building emotional resilience is also important. This means developing the ability to stay calm and composed, even in challenging situations. Engage in activities that promote emotional well-being, such as exercise, spending time in nature, or talking to a trusted friend. Taking care of your physical and mental health can make it easier to manage your emotions. It's also beneficial to practice empathy. Try to understand the perspectives and feelings of others. This can help you respond with compassion rather than reacting out of anger or frustration. When we put ourselves in someone else's shoes, we are more likely to respond thoughtfully and kindly. Number 5, the mirage of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a deceptive foe, leading us to believe that we must be perfect to have self-worth. This mindset can cause constant stress and disappointment as we set unrealistic standards for ourselves and feel like failures when we don't meet them. Perfectionism can trap us in a cycle of always striving for an impossible ideal, making it hard to appreciate our efforts and progress. Epictetus, a wise Stoic philosopher, offers a liberating perspective. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This means that true freedom and happiness come from letting go of things we can't control, including the unrealistic demand for perfection. By accepting our imperfections, we can focus on what truly matters: our growth and efforts. Accepting imperfections doesn't mean giving up or settling for less. It means recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and has flaws. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. Celebrate the small steps and improvements you make each day. This shift in focus can help reduce stress and increase satisfaction with your accomplishments. To overcome perfectionism, start by setting realistic and achievable goals. Break larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps. This makes it easier to see progress and reduces the pressure to be perfect right away. For example, if you're learning a new skill, set small milestones and celebrate each one you achieve. Practicing self-compassion is also important. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. When you make a mistake or fall short of your goals, remind yourself that it's a normal part of the learning process. Instead of criticizing yourself, think about what you can learn from the experience and how you can do better next time. Another useful strategy is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. Enjoy the journey of learning and improving rather than fixating on a perfect end result. This can make your efforts feel more rewarding and less stressful. For instance, if you're working on a project, appreciate the skills and knowledge you're gaining along the way, rather than just the final product. It's also helpful to limit comparisons with others. Everyone has their own unique path and pace. Comparing yourself to others can fuel perfectionist tendencies and make you feel inadequate. Instead, focus on your own progress and personal growth. Reflect on how far you've come and what you've achieved, rather than how you measure up to others. Mindfulness practices can also support overcoming perfectionism. Spend a few minutes each day in meditation or deep breathing exercises. This helps you stay present and grounded, reducing the urge to chase after an ideal of perfection. Mindfulness encourages acceptance of yourself as you are, with all your strengths and weaknesses. Lastly, seek feedback and support from trusted friends or mentors. They can offer valuable perspectives and encouragement, helping you stay motivated and balanced. Sharing your struggles with perfectionism can also help you feel less alone and more understood. Number 6. The seduction of immediate gratification. In a world driven by instant rewards, we are often tempted to seek quick fixes and immediate gratification. This desire for instant pleasure can come at the expense of our long-term well-being. Whether it's choosing unhealthy food for a quick taste or spending money impulsively, these choices can lead to regret and hinder our overall happiness and success. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, offers wise advice on this topic. He says, "Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live. Fate is hanging over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This means we should not waste our time on fleeting pleasures. Instead, we should focus on what truly matters and make the most of our time by being good and doing good. To overcome the seduction of immediate gratification, we must prioritize meaningful goals over short-term desires. This involves thinking about the long-term consequences of our actions and making choices that align with our higher purpose. For example, instead of spending hours on social media for instant entertainment, we could spend that time learning a new skill or working towards a personal goal. These activities might not provide immediate pleasure, but they contribute to our long-term happiness and fulfillment. One effective way to resist immediate gratification is by practicing delayed gratification. This means waiting and working for rewards instead of seeking instant satisfaction. Research has shown that people who practice delayed gratification tend to be more successful and happier in the long run. For instance, saving money for a future goal rather than spending it impulsively can lead to greater financial stability and peace of mind. Setting clear and meaningful goals is crucial. When we have a clear vision of what we want to achieve, it's easier to resist distractions and stay focused on our path. Break down big goals into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate each milestone along the way. This keeps us motivated and helps us see progress, making it easier to stay committed to our long-term objectives. Mindfulness and self-reflection are also important tools. Take time each day to reflect on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself if they align with your long-term goals and values. Being mindful helps you become more aware of your impulses and make conscious choices rather than acting on immediate desires. Another helpful strategy is to create a balanced routine that includes both work and relaxation. Allow yourself to enjoy small pleasures in moderation, but don't let them take over your life. Balance is key to maintaining well-being and staying on track with your long-term goals. Building a strong support system can also make a big difference. Surround yourself with people who share your values and encourage you to stay focused on your goals. Having supportive friends and family members can provide motivation and help you stay accountable. Number 7, the deception of social comparison. Constantly comparing ourselves to others can breed envy and dissatisfaction. We look at others' achievements, possessions, and appearances and feel that we fall short. This habit can make us feel inadequate and unhappy, trapping us in a cycle of negative thoughts and low self-esteem. Epictetus, a wise Stoic philosopher, offers valuable advice on this topic. He says, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This means that we should not worry about what others think of us. Instead, we should focus on our own progress and growth. By doing so, we can find contentment and inner peace. To break free from the deception of social comparison, we need to shift our focus from external comparisons to our own personal development. This involves recognizing that everyone's journey is unique and that true happiness comes from within. Instead of measuring our worth against others, we should strive to become the best version of ourselves, guided by our values and principles. One way to do this is by setting personal goals that are meaningful to us. These goals should reflect our values and aspirations, not the expectations or standards set by others. By working towards these goals, we can find fulfillment and a sense of accomplishment that is independent of others' opinions. It's also important to practice gratitude. By appreciating what we have and recognizing our own achievements, we can cultivate a sense of contentment. Gratitude helps us focus on the positive aspects of our lives, reducing the tendency to compare ourselves to others. Keeping a gratitude journal, where we regularly write down things we are thankful for, can be a helpful practice. Mindfulness and self-reflection are also key tools. Taking time each day to reflect on our thoughts and feelings can help us become more aware of when we are falling into the trap of social comparison. By being mindful, we can catch these thoughts early and redirect our focus to our own growth and progress. Another effective strategy is to limit our exposure to social media. Social media platforms often showcase curated versions of people's lives, making it easy to compare ourselves to unrealistic standards. By reducing our time on social media or being more selective about the content we consume, we can minimize the negative impact of social comparison. Surrounding ourselves with supportive and like-minded individuals can also make a big difference. Having friends and family who encourage our growth and celebrate our achievements helps us stay focused on our own path. These positive relationships provide a healthy perspective and remind us of our worth. Lastly, we should embrace the idea of continuous improvement. Instead of aiming for perfection, we should focus on making small, consistent improvements. This mindset helps us stay motivated and reduces the pressure to compare ourselves to others. By celebrating our progress, no matter how small, we can build a strong sense of self-worth. Number 8, the weight of past regrets. We often carry the heavy burden of past mistakes, allowing them to overshadow our present lives and cloud our future. The weight of these regrets can hold us back, making us feel stuck and preventing us from moving forward. This burden can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and helplessness, making it difficult to find joy and fulfillment in our daily lives. Seneca, a wise Stoic philosopher, offers valuable insight on this topic. He says, "No man has the power to have everything he wants, but it is in his power not to want what he hasn't got, and cheerfully make the most of the things that do come his way." This means that while we can't change the past or always get what we desire, we do have the power to accept our current situation and make the best of it. By focusing on the present and appreciating what we have, we can let go of past regrets and find peace. Accepting the past as unchangeable is a key step in overcoming the weight of past regrets. We must understand that what has happened is beyond our control and cannot be altered. This acceptance allows us to stop dwelling on our mistakes and start focusing on the present moment. By doing so, we free ourselves from the negative emotions tied to our past and open up to new possibilities. One way to release the grip of past regrets is through forgiveness, both towards ourselves and others. When we forgive ourselves for our mistakes, we acknowledge that we are human and imperfect. This self-compassion helps us move forward with a lighter heart. Similarly, forgiving others who may have wronged us allows us to let go of resentment and anger, creating space for healing and growth. Another helpful practice is to view our past mistakes as valuable lessons. Every error we make can teach us something important about ourselves and the world around us. By learning from these experiences, we can grow stronger and wiser. This perspective shifts our focus from what went wrong to how we can improve and avoid similar mistakes in the future. Mindfulness and staying present are also essential in overcoming past regrets. By concentrating on the here and now, we can fully engage with our current experiences and appreciate the beauty of the present moment. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, and journaling can help us cultivate mindfulness and stay grounded. Setting goals and working towards them can also help us move past regrets. When we have clear, meaningful objectives, we can channel our energy into positive actions. These goals give us a sense of purpose and direction, helping us build a brighter future. By focusing on what we want to achieve, we can gradually let go of the weight of our past mistakes. It's also important to seek support from friends, family, or professionals. Talking about our regrets and sharing our feelings with others can provide comfort and perspective. Supportive relationships remind us that we are not alone and that we have the strength to overcome our challenges. Number 9, the illusion of happiness through possessions. We often think that having more possessions or wealth will make us happier. This belief leads us to chase after material things, hoping they will bring us lasting joy. However, Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, offers a different perspective. He says, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." In your way of thinking, this means that true happiness doesn't come from what we own, but from how we perceive and appreciate our lives. To overcome the illusion that happiness depends on possessions, we need to shift our focus inward. Instead of constantly seeking more things, we can start by appreciating what we already have. This could be our relationships, health, or simple pleasures like a beautiful sunset or a good meal. By cultivating gratitude for these aspects of our lives, we begin to realize that happiness can be found in everyday moments, not just in acquiring more stuff. Stoicism teaches us to value inner qualities and virtues over external possessions. Instead of defining ourselves by what we own, we can focus on developing qualities like kindness, resilience, and integrity. These inner strengths contribute to a deeper sense of fulfillment and well-being that material goods cannot provide. Practicing mindfulness is also important in overcoming the illusion of happiness through possessions. By staying present and aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can recognize when we are seeking happiness externally. Mindfulness helps us pause and reflect on whether acquiring more possessions truly aligns with our values and long-term happiness. Another key Stoic principle is moderation and simplicity. Instead of accumulating more things, we can practice voluntary simplicity by living with less. This could mean decluttering our homes, reducing unnecessary spending, or focusing on experiences rather than material goods. By simplifying our lives, we reduce the desire for external validation through possessions and find greater contentment within ourselves. Setting meaningful goals that align with our values is another way to cultivate true happiness. Instead of pursuing possessions for their own sake, we can set goals that contribute to our personal growth, relationships, or community. Working towards these goals gives us a sense of purpose and fulfillment that goes beyond material wealth. Finally, connecting with others and building meaningful relationships is essential for happiness. Research shows that strong social connections and supportive relationships are key factors in long-term happiness. By investing in our relationships and sharing experiences with loved ones, we create lasting memories and a sense of belonging that money cannot buy. Number 10, the mirage of perfectionism. The idea that perfection is achievable often makes us feel dissatisfied with ourselves. We strive for flawless outcomes in everything we do, expecting everything to be perfect. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, offers a different perspective. He says, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This means that instead of chasing after perfection, we should focus on what we can change and improve. To overcome the mirage of perfectionism, we must first accept our imperfections. No one is perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes or fall short sometimes. By embracing our flaws and seeing them as opportunities for growth, we can let go of the constant pressure to be flawless. Focusing on progress rather than perfection is another key principle. Instead of aiming for flawless results, we can strive to make small improvements over time. This approach allows us to appreciate our efforts and achievements, even if they are not perfect. Practicing gratitude is also important in overcoming perfectionism. By acknowledging and celebrating our successes, no matter how small, we can cultivate a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. This mindset shift helps us recognize the value of our efforts and the progress we make. Setting realistic goals is another effective strategy. Instead of setting impossibly high standards, we can establish achievable goals that challenge us without overwhelming us. This helps us maintain motivation and momentum toward our objectives, while also allowing room for learning and growth. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control and let go of the rest. By accepting our imperfections, focusing on progress, practicing gratitude, setting realistic goals, and embracing Stoic principles, we can free ourselves from the grip of perfectionism. This allows us to live more authentically and joyfully, appreciating our efforts and growth along the way. Number 11. The seduction of immediate gratification. In today's fast-paced world, we often crave immediate rewards and quick solutions to our problems. This desire for instant gratification can lead us to prioritize short-term gains over long-term well-being. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, offers valuable guidance on this matter. He advises, do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live. Fate is hanging over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This means that instead of chasing fleeting pleasures, we should focus on meaningful goals that align with our deeper values and purpose in life. To resist the seduction of immediate gratification, we must first recognize its potential pitfalls. While quick fixes may provide temporary relief or satisfaction, they often do not contribute to our long-term happiness or well-being. This can lead to a cycle of chasing after superficial pleasures without experiencing lasting fulfillment. Stoicism encourages us to prioritize virtues such as temperance, patience, and wisdom. By practicing these virtues, we develop the discipline to delay gratification and make decisions that are in line with our long-term goals and values. This disciplined approach allows us to resist impulsive urges and make choices that contribute to our overall growth and happiness. Setting meaningful goals is another important strategy in overcoming the lure of immediate gratification. By defining clear objectives and breaking them down into manageable steps, we create a roadmap for success that extends beyond instant rewards. This process helps us stay focused on what truly matters to us, rather than being swayed by momentary desires. Practicing mindfulness is also essential in resisting immediate gratification. By staying present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and impulses, we can make conscious decisions that support our long-term well-being. Mindfulness allows us to pause, reflect, and consider the consequences of our actions before acting impulsively. Building resilience is another key aspect of overcoming the allure of instant gratification. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and learning to navigate these obstacles with grace and perseverance strengthens our ability to resist temptations and stay committed to our goals. Stoicism teaches us to embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth and development, rather than seeking easy escapes from discomfort or difficulty. Number 12. The deception of social comparison. Comparing ourselves to others is a common habit that can lead to feelings of envy and dissatisfaction. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, offers a wise perspective on this. He advises, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This means that instead of constantly measuring ourselves against others, we should focus on our own progress and development. Social comparison often leads to negative emotions because we tend to highlight the strengths of others while dwelling on our own perceived shortcomings. This can create a cycle of discontentment and self-criticism, where we feel inadequate or unsuccessful compared to others. To overcome the deception of social comparison, we must first recognize that everyone's journey is unique. Each person has their own strengths, challenges, and experiences that shape their lives. By acknowledging this diversity, we can appreciate our own path and achievements without feeling the need to compete with others. Shifting our focus from external comparisons to internal growth is another key strategy. Instead of seeking validation or approval from others, we can set personal goals and work towards becoming the best version of ourselves. This approach fosters a sense of contentment and inner peace as we prioritize our own values and aspirations. Practicing gratitude is also important in overcoming social comparison. By focusing on what we have rather than what others possess, we can cultivate a mindset of abundance and appreciation. This helps us recognize our own strengths and blessings, reducing the tendency to compare ourselves unfavorably to others. Stoicism encourages us to embrace humility and authenticity in our interactions with others. By accepting our imperfections and vulnerabilities, we can build genuine connections based on mutual respect and understanding. This creates a supportive environment where comparison is replaced by collaboration and growth. Number 13. The weight of past regrets. It's common to feel weighed down by regrets from our past, letting them affect our present. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, offers wisdom on this. He says, "No man has the power to have everything he wants, but it is in his power not to want what he hasn't got, and cheerfully make the most of the things that do come his way." This means we can't change the past, but we can choose not to dwell on what we can't alter. Instead, we can focus on the present and find clarity. Regrets often stem from mistakes or choices we wish we could undo. They can cloud our minds, making it hard to move forward positively. Stoicism teaches us to accept what has happened as part of our journey without letting it define us. By acknowledging our past and learning from it, we can grow stronger and wiser. Focusing on the present moment is key to releasing the grip of past regrets. When we concentrate on what we can control now, our thoughts, actions, attitudes, we empower ourselves to shape our future. This mindset shift helps us break free from negative cycles of guilt or shame, allowing us to live more fully in the present. Practicing forgiveness, both toward ourselves and others, is crucial in overcoming past regrets. By letting go of resentment or self-blame, we create space for healing and personal growth. This doesn't mean forgetting or excusing past mistakes, but rather accepting them as part of our journey toward becoming our best selves. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate resilience and wisdom through life's challenges. By embracing the lessons of our past without being consumed by regrets, we can approach each day with renewed clarity and purpose. This approach fosters a sense of empowerment and optimism, enabling us to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and grace. Number 14. The illusion of happiness through possessions. It's common to think that having more possessions will make us happier. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from wealth. He says, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This means happiness isn't about what we own, but how we see and appreciate life. The belief that possessions bring happiness is an illusion. While material things can provide temporary pleasure, they don't guarantee lasting joy. Stoicism teaches us to find happiness from within, focusing on our thoughts, attitudes, and relationships rather than external goods. By appreciating what we already have, we shift our perspective on happiness. Gratitude for simple pleasures and meaningful connections enriches our lives more than material wealth ever could. This mindset helps us cultivate contentment and fulfillment regardless of our possessions. Focusing on the richness of our inner lives is essential in discovering true happiness. This involves nurturing our values, passions, and personal growth. Investing in experiences and relationships that bring meaning and joy contributes more to our well-being than accumulating possessions. Stoicism encourages us to detach our happiness from materialism and consumerism. By prioritizing inner fulfillment over external possessions, we develop resilience and inner peace. This approach empowers us to live authentically and sustainably, free from the pursuit of fleeting material desires. Number 15. The mirage of perfectionism. Believing that perfection is achievable can trap us in a cycle of never feeling satisfied. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, offers wisdom on this. He advises freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This means that focusing on things we can't change leads to frustration. Instead, we should accept our imperfections and focus on moving forward. Perfectionism makes us set unrealistically high standards for ourselves. It can cause stress and disappointment when we don't meet these expectations. Stoicism teaches us to embrace our imperfections and see them as part of our growth. By striving for progress rather than perfection, we can appreciate our efforts and achievements along the way. Accepting imperfections doesn't mean ignoring mistakes or settling for less. It means recognizing that we're all human and bound to make errors. Stoicism encourages us to learn from our mistakes and use them as opportunities for improvement. This mindset shift fosters resilience and self-compassion, allowing us to pursue our goals without the pressure of perfection. Focusing on progress is key to overcoming the mirage of perfectionism. Instead of fixating on flawless outcomes, we can celebrate small victories and continuous improvement. This approach builds confidence and motivation, leading to long-term success and satisfaction. Stoicism reminds us that life is about growth and learning, not perfection. By embracing imperfections and valuing progress, we free ourselves from the grip of perfectionism. This mindset shift promotes resilience, self-acceptance, and a deeper appreciation for our journey. Number 16. The seduction of immediate gratification. In today's fast-paced world, we're often drawn to immediate rewards and quick fixes. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, offers guidance on this. He advises, do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live. Fate is hanging over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This means we shouldn't delay doing what's right or important, as life is unpredictable. The seduction of immediate gratification can lead us to prioritize short-term pleasures over our long-term well-being. Stoicism encourages us to focus on meaningful goals that align with our higher purpose and values. By resisting the urge for instant rewards, we invest in our future happiness and fulfillment. Instant gratification often comes with consequences that can harm our long-term goals and well-being. Stoicism teaches us to consider the bigger picture and make decisions that serve our long-term interests. This involves delaying immediate pleasures in favor of enduring rewards that contribute to our growth and fulfillment. Prioritizing meaningful goals over transient desires requires self-discipline and foresight. It involves setting clear intentions and making choices that support our values and aspirations. This Stoic principle helps us maintain focus and resilience amidst distractions and temptations. By aligning ourselves with our higher purpose and values, we cultivate a sense of meaning and fulfillment in our lives. Stoicism encourages us to live with integrity and purpose, making decisions that reflect our long-term aspirations rather than fleeting desires. This approach fosters resilience, self-mastery, and a deeper appreciation for the journey of personal growth. Together, let us master the art of non-combat by embracing these Stoic strategies. Through self-control, fortitude, and the wisdom of ancient philosophy, we can overcome our internal foes and lead lives of profound peace and fulfillment.